The Washington State Legislature started up again this week in Olympia. We caught up with 13th District legislators to see what they expect during the short 60-day session. Senator Janea Holmquist-Newbury is focused on business.
So, as, again, the chair of the Commerce and Labor Committee, my number one top priority will continue to be private sector job creation, and we'll not only have workers' comp reform, but we're also looking at what happened in SeaTac, for example, where they passed a $15 minimum wage, and wanting to help protect our business climate from that piecemeal patchwork approach.
Representatives such as Judy Warnick of Moses Lake also have money in mind.
We created a budget for 2013-15 during the 2013 sessions, and we'd like to maintain that budget and get out with a sustainable budget. We've been hit with a couple of orders, one being the McCleary order that the Supreme Court issued just days before we convened. So we're still trying to determine what that means for us.
There will be challenges this year, but nothing unusual, says Representative Matt Manueller.
People want money for education, and I do too. It's just usually people want more money than we have. There's the transportation package. There's some people who want a $10 billion transportation tax. I do not. So there are going to be some sticky issues this year, but that happens every session.
The issue of transportation is on everyone's mind.
If there is a transportation budget, my number one priority is our North Columbia Rail Basin rail project, and I was successful in being able to garner the support in the Senate to get the $25 million to complete the entire project, working with Pat Jones, I've got to say, from the Port of Moses Lake. But I was able to get that $25 million on our Senate transportation project list.
I'm not sure where it's going to come in, but transportation is also a budget that we should be taking a look at. If we don't finish it, we have transportation projects that are currently funded that we could finish. So we could take the transportation into a future session, although I think there is some movement to do one now.
But local legislators have a variety of goals this session.
I think for the most part, the top priority is all these bills to help improve the business climate, and definitely keeping in mind that we've had a lot of talk about Boeing because of the recent 777X contract. And so my perspective is what's good for Goliath should be good for David. So if we're going to do something for the big guys like Boeing, it needs to help the small employers of our state. And so that's really my focus is, what's good for Goliath should be good for David, and we should be doing things that help every employer in our state.
Right now, the state is buying up a lot of private lands, and I want to make sure that they don't get fenced off, gated off. This is land in our communities. I want to make sure that people have the ability to go fishing and camping and backpacking and horseback riding in the places that they've traditionally done, even if the state has bought up that land. So public access to public lands. Second thing I'm working on is we've got to fix the problems of Obamacare. So many Washington residents got kicked off their insurance plans. So I've got two bills that will allow people who liked their old insurance plans to keep them, even if it means buying them across state lines. And the third thing I'm working on is a rural counties tax incentive. This is for companies like Genie, SGL, Moses Lake Industries, all of those businesses that came to Moses Lake in a rural area. We want to incentivize that so not all of the technological industries of Washington are in the Puget Sound. I want to spread them out a lot.
So those are two of the things I'm going to be looking at, and then of course getting us out of here in 60 days. No excuse to stay any later.
Here, come. Forward, march.
Reporting from Olympia for CBH TV and the Murrow News Service, this is Leilani Leach.